There are still concerns about loan sharks that continue to keep the cards that belong to SASSA beneficiaries. If you'd remember, this is a problem that has been ongoing for years now, and law enforcement authorities in some cases were involved in these particular matters. But why is this problem continuing? Let's speak to Paseka Letsatsi, the South African Social Security Agency spokesperson. Paseka, thank you so much for your time this evening. Why are we still seeing this as a problem?
Good evening, Bongi, and thanks for having us. I think basically what we have been doing was to do a beneficiary education just to alert the beneficiaries of social grants that they do not necessarily have to engage in these activities. We know, as a matter of fact, that in some instances, people who go and give beneficiaries loans, which we call abomashonisa, they go there pretending to be coming from SASSA. And people fall victim to those particular issues. But we think we have taken a responsibility as an organization to make sure that we continuously engage the communities and teach them about their rights and their responsibilities.
Do you find that the numbers are going down of those that are still engaging in this, or are they possibly going higher?
We will never be happy, Bongiwa, until we have 0%. But we can safely say that it was quiet for a very long period of time, but we see it mushrooming. If you close it in Gauteng, it will then resurface or surface somewhere in Mpumalanga and so on. 3 months ago, it was here in Gauteng in Springs, then it goes to the Western Cape, and when the law enforcement agencies follow it, it goes to, they are actually mobile, they go to different provinces. But from where we are, we can safely say the numbers have gone down, but will not rest until it's 0%, where people are not brought or are not caught in taking these particular loans.
Are we able to quantify, to say maybe they were here at this point and then now they are at this particular percentage?
Yes, basically, I can tell you now that what we did in Springs, we actually arrested about 34 people. They were found in possession of about 100,000 with them. And if you compare that with what used to happen 6-7 years ago, I mean, from 34 people that would arrest, it used to be thousands and thousands of people were involved in these particular activities. So basically, we can say significantly it has reduced to about 90%. But like I'm saying, we would not say that we're happy until it's 0%, where people are not being called to get these particular cards or give away their cards, and then they are made to pay hefty interest rates.
And Paseka, you know, as we're talking tonight, someone is thinking these cards are only going to a loan shark sitting somewhere in a dark room. But in some of these cases, we're seeing these cards going to spaza shops and other places where these beneficiaries would be owing.
No, definitely, Bongi. We basically follow it up. We know that in some instances, you find that people go to the ATMs. A person will have a stash of about 100 cards with them to go and withdraw at an ATM, move from one ATM to the other. In some instances, because these cards, they operate like any other bank card, they would go and do all sorts of things. But what we can simply do, Bongi, is to basically teach our people that they must always make sure that they keep their PIN safe. They do not necessarily give their card to anybody. Because unfortunately, Bongi, if you give your card or you surrender it to somebody else, obviously as an organization, we become I mean, our intervention therefore becomes extremely limited. We want to make sure that as much as people know that they've got the right to access the social grant, they've got responsibilities to make sure that they do not engage in breaking the laws and so on, because the SASSA Act is very clear in terms of who is supposed to be having the card and so forth. So we're appealing to people that they must desist from engaging in these activities.
You know, one of the things, though, Paseka, as we talk about, you know, asking them not to get involved in these activities, the people will argue that they are cash-strapped, they've got no access to, you know, loans, they've got no access to means of getting some money that, you know, may make a difference between them having bread for their children or, you know, something. And if they spot someone who's going to be able to assist them in that moment and there is a desperation at the time, how then do they begin to navigate this? Because this is also a reality for many.
No, it is a reality, Bongiwe, and I think I must agree with you. But the fact of the matter is that we are governed by the laws, and we need to make sure that we respect those laws. If we don't do that, it means everybody can simply say, people can simply do as they wish without respecting the legislation which is put to regulate some of the things. And let me just make this illustration to you, Bongi. You know, if you go to the Mashonesa and you take a loan of 500, you are going to pay hefty interest rate. And once you go in, I can bet with my last cent, you will never get out. Because at the end of the month, they'll have to go and withdraw money, take what is due to them plus an interest rate, and then they give you a card to withdraw money. But because you no longer have what is given to you by the state, you then take another money again. So it's a revolving cycle. You will be caught up in that particular cycle until you die. So the intention here, which we can appeal to our people, especially beneficiaries, is that if you have money, try to make sure that you live within that particular means. We know that people will complain that it's not enough. However, we need to make sure that, unfortunately, that we respect the laws of the country.
All right, Paseka, thank you so much for your time this evening. Do appreciate it, and one can only hope that, you know, some of the calls are being heeded, but it's a good thing, as you say, that it's, you know, the numbers are now on a decline. Let me thank you and leave it there with you for now. That's Paseka Letsatsi from the South African Social Security Agency. He's the spokesperson there.